Hi, friends. So, I have a lot of my personal friends who are so fascinated with what my husband and I call Sarah talks. So, I decided tonight, my husband's on the phone in the other room, so if you hear him, sorry. But I decided tonight to start the Sarah talk without him because it just started. And again, I want to share it with the world. So, what a Sarah talk is usually at the end of my night, I get the kids settled and I start wrapping up my evening and I take a bath and I just start reflecting. I start reflecting on my day. I start reflecting on what I could do better, who I am trying to become, just straight reflection in every area of my life. And through this reflection comes these beautiful messages and life lessons, and it has absolutely been life-changing to me, and to be able to share this with my clients and with the world is life-changing for me as well. So tonight I was reflecting, and one of the things that I am really learning at this time in my life, this season, is a lot about patterns. And it's so funny that my 6-year-old just so happened to come home, or 4-year-old, sorry. My 4-year-old comes home and they're learning patterns, and then the 6-year-old gets into it and they are really interested in creating patterns in everything that they do, like the way that they color, the way that they draw, putting beads on things. Like, it just really is all about patterns. And so as I am healing, and for those of you who know me personally or who have worked with me or know my journey itself, I have been on this journey of self-discovery and self-healing from my past, and it's been a journey. And along that journey to become your true self, to get out of it, you start recognizing patterns. And what it is, and what I have discovered, is these patterns are something that we create. Whether it is something that almost as a default mechanism, like when you were born, you learn these behaviors, you were embedded these thoughts or these self-limiting beliefs or patterns for that matter that have kept you in a certain place, right? And so if you are aware of these patterns that you don't like something about your life, if you're aware of them, then you're more likely to take some action in some sort of way to change them. If you are not aware of them and you have just accepted them for what they are, then you're going to live life in almost this state of anger, frustration, because you want to live more, but you have accepted because of either a family member was this way, or they say you've always been this certain way, or whatever it is, and you've just accepted it. I personally have had both. I have discovered things in my life that I thought were just part of who I was. And then I have had other parts in my life that were self-limiting beliefs based off of experiences or what other people had said, and I've held on to it. So it kind of was both. And so once I dove into my life and started looking at the patterns, I was able to know what I did in each of those situations, each of those continuous patterns. And I was able to break the cycle. And breaking the cycle is literally doing something different. It is connecting to who you want to be and how does that person move. If this particular pattern, this particular outcome that you have is the same thing, just what if you break that pattern and you create something new? And so here is where the science and the energy behind it, for all you science minds, is in our brain. We are able to, we're so smart. We hold on to all of the knowledge that we have created in our entire lives. And we are able to see these different types of patterns and rely on them based off of either triggers or, just simple being redundant, over and over again. And just kind of muscle memory. And so if you have the ability to tap into your mind and recognize, be aware, and then actively take action to create a new pattern and retrain the firing and the neurons and everything that goes on in your brain to make you act and respond in a different way, then you're going to respond and move in life in a different way. You're going to heal, you're going to grow, you're going to show up as the person that you really do feel inside, no matter if you were that person that had accepted where you were, or if you were that person that actively started working and moving, and still had this feeling of like self-limiting beliefs that you either thought or were created from experiences, moving towards who you want to be. And so if you are someone out there who is feeling this way, like, why does this keep happening to me over and over and over and over again? Just like my 4 and 6-year-old, I had the conversation not too long ago. A pattern would continue until you break it. So we were going through colors and we were doing 1, 2, 1, 2. And then I threw another color and they're like, Mom, it broke the pattern. So if you don't like the pattern that you're creating, break it. One step at a time, recognize what you did in the previous pattern and change that common denominator that created the same scenario, the same result, and now do something different. It seems like we've been told this our entire life, right? If you don't like the way things are going, change them. It's right in front of us, guys. It really is that simple. And to be able to understand it and to know it takes time, because in order to create a pattern, your whole process, your mind and your body have to connect in order to have a reaction to something that is entering your space and your being. Think of athletes, right? So athletes, we'll use baseball, especially since Go Astros just won the World Series. Baseball players, right? They're getting pitches thrown at them 100+ miles an hour. What is your reaction time? Do you think anybody from the stands can get up there and just pick up the bat and swing and hit a home run like these guys do? No. They have to create patterns, muscle memory within their mind connected to their body, that when they have this ball coming at them at 100+ miles an hour, they have the reaction time to do everything perfectly to make sure they make contact with that ball. So they practice, they train, they do mental mindsets and mental, like, mindful strategies to be able to create this connection. And so if they can do it at a specific thing, such as their sport, their profession, then why can't you take it to your profession or to your world and do the same thing, just at what you are trying to create? What kind of lifestyle pattern are you trying to create in your life and your world, right? So don't run to it. No, it will take time, but you have to be committed. You have to be committed to the new pattern. You have to let the old pattern go in order to be committed to the new pattern. Because if not, if you don't let that old pattern go, at any given point, you can be triggered and you will result back to that default pattern that was created. So I love giving the example of, you can just put things aside and you're calm, cool, and collected. You're like, okay, that's fine, I let it go. And then something else happens, you're like, okay, that's fine, I let it go. Okay, fine, let it go. And then all of a sudden you just explode. That is not writing and creating a new pattern. That is just shoving things under the rug, but still holding attachment to the things, right? So it's like, you can't hold. You have to create a new pattern, a new mindset, new movement. It's mind-body connection. So pattern is the theme for the night for Sarah Talk. And if you are looking to change your life, go look at the patterns that you have and the ones that you don't like and start changing those. That is where you start. Have a good evening, guys.